And like I said, you honestly don't even have to do the sketch. If you are one of those people that I completely don't understand how they can do this, but if you're one of those people that can just look at that stick figure and draw out their frames completely like consistent the whole time, then you know what? Go right ahead. More power to you. I'm not saying this is the exact way you should animate. I'm saying this is just kind of like a starting way. Look at this, and maybe you'll even find your own tricks and shortcuts that work for you. I wasn't just automatically able to know how to do any of this. I didn't watch any tutorials here on YouTube, mainly because I couldn't really find any good ones. Maybe I was looking in all the wrong places. I don't know. But they didn't, all the ones I did find didn't really work with how I thought. And so I did a lot of research to find different methods that were easiest for me as a beginning animator. And these are the methods I found that worked the most. They may not work for you. And I'm sorry if they don't, but that's okay. Just a little research goes a long way in helping you to do what you need to do. And yes, this tutorial may be a little bit long, but animating is a long and tedious process. I mean, look at how much time it took us to do just this little walk cycle. It may not feel like a lot of time because you may like what you're doing or whatever, but it is actually quite a long time for something as simple as just walking. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that if you do this really slow, you're a bad animator. No, actually, the slower you do it, generally you have a better animation because you spend all that time tweaking details. But I know a couple amazing people who can just whip out a pen and paper and make a super long animation in no time at all. And it will look really good. And I gotta say, I'm actually a little jealous of them. Because heaven knows I can't do that. But I love my animations. And I honestly think they come out okay. I like the way they come out. And if you don't like the way they come out, well, that's your opinion. Because I know some people don't like my animations. And that's totally up to them. It doesn't offend me when they say they don't like my animations, because that's their opinion. It's not mine. I love my animations. So even if they say they don't like it, I do. And that may be like a little kid thing your mom tells you, but you know what? It's actually true. It's actually true. As long as you like your artwork, then nobody else's opinion really matters. And I love my characters a whole lot. That's why I copyright them, because it would hurt me if someone stole my characters and said, hey, I drew this. And they didn't. They didn't spend the time it took me to create my characters or give them personalities. And as cheesy as it sounds, all the love I put into these. It would just hurt if someone stole it. So if you think you're going to be doing a whole lot with your animation, a whole lot of work, and maybe even an animated series, it might be a good idea to invest in some copyright. Oops. Oh, there it goes. My computer's freezing a little bit. Hold on. There we are. Sometimes I accidentally click the options palette on Photoshop and it freezes my computer a little bit. I'm going to start working on the 6th frame, and remember we have 8 frames, so honestly, we're almost done. And when I'm done doing this pre-sketch, I'm not going to show y'all the process of doing coloring and line art, because honestly, it's the same process as the sketch. It's just that you have to follow your lines almost to the exact point, as exact as you can make it. That way it doesn't look like your character is somehow morphing in the middle of the animation. But I will show you the different steps of the walk cycle when this is done. Just not me actually drawing them. Which I'm sure y'all are probably tired of my voice anyway right now. And don't really want me to do that. And remember, at this 6th frame, this is the point where these green legs closest to us don't really move. This is the frame where we're more concentrated on the blue. And now, when I do show you what I have already done, I'm not going to be using the same sketch I'm drawing right now, because I already attempted drawing out this tutorial once before, and it didn't work. My Hypercam didn't record very well. And I liked how that one came out so much that I'm going to use those frames instead. But it was the same exact process, so there's really nothing to worry about. And I really hope this helps some of you. I was originally asked on DeviantArt by Chibi Puppy. I forget the numbers, but there's some numbers after there. I'll have her DeviantArt page in the link. And I did a little animation that was gonna be for my icon on DeviantArt, and she saw it, and she asked me, how to animate. And as you can tell, it's a really big answer how to animate. There's so many different ways that instead of just telling her, I said I would just make a series on how I animated. And I named it Animation Nation, as y'all know. And I really hope this helps her, especially, because she's the one who originally wanted to know the answer. But of course, I hope it helps other animators out there as well. And I'm not like, the best artist out there. There's some things I see drawn with Photoshop that are just simply amazing. And I think, oh, there's no way I can ever do that. And then, my mom promptly tells me that that's not true. But you know what? I honestly don't think I could ever do some of the stuff I see drawn in Photoshop, the amazing painting. But with animation, especially in American animation like Ren and Stimpy or, I don't know, The Simpsons, the process was not meant to look insanely pretty like a painting. Lucky for me, huh? It was meant to just be a relatively quick animation of your style to bring happiness and laughter to homes. And in Japanese anime, in my opinion, I think it takes a little bit longer because their characters don't really super stretch, or their bodies don't really stretch and morph in all these different kind of ways. They stay relatively realistic in how they're formed. Now, of course, there's exceptions to this, but as a general rule, the anatomy usually is consistent throughout Japanese anime. It doesn't change all too much.